Yes, excellent question. It is in fact often the illness, the autoimmune issue that leads a person to be the generational curse breaker. Their despair in their physical body leads them to say, something is going on with my body, and the exploration leads the person to stopping patterns that they learned from their family of origin that then they discover is in, multi-generationally and going on. So for example, I've seen people with, anxiety runs in families, and reproductive issues runs in families, and diabetes runs in families, and hypertension runs in families. And just because it runs in the family doesn't mean that genetically it needs to awake. The genetic markers for various things, they need a perfect storm for them to go ahead into the next generation. And science tells us that epigenetically, meaning the environment and how a person lives, can change that genetic predisposition for anything. You can change anything. It's possible, and thankfully it's not just a pie in the sky concept. Science is telling us that if you change your environment, if you change your thoughts, if you change the way you live, if you change your beliefs, if you change your nervous system, you don't have to necessarily have that disease, even though you are genetically predisposed toward it, happen. Now, many people will be, unconscious about that, and then they'll come through their life, and then they'll wake up and they go, oh, here we go. There's cysts, there's tumors, there's fibroids, there's anxiety, depression. Well, my mother had it. Well, my dad had it. Yes, it runs in my family. And what I'm here to tell you is, if you're a generational curse breaker / pattern breaker, what you are probably coming to the realization of is that you have a variety of things that you inherited, and you were not conscious of what the bigger picture was, meaning the mental, emotional, physical repercussions of patterns of behavior that came down multi-generationally. The other thing, for example, that I notice is people whose families come from war. There can be starvation that occurred. There can be a variety of terrible things that occurred in the wartime, and then generationally the nervous system is kind of locked in the fight, flight, freeze mode. The nervous system has all of these belief systems around possibly survivor guilt, or possibly starvation, which leads to generations of controlling food, and then the generation that shows up 3 generations later has eating disorders. So I'm not saying that one should exclusively look at this when looking at illness, etc. But it is an important piece to understand that we have the power to change the various patterns that we subconsciously, unconsciously inherited from our family of origin and generations before that. Ways of being. Oh, we're a family that doesn't put up with crap. We're oh yeah, I get my bitter humor from my grandmother. Oh yeah, I get my lack of trust. Oh, my mother didn't trust, my father didn't trust, and my grandmother didn't trust. Oh, well, they come from wartime, or they come from, so we're like unconsciously inheriting belief systems and ways of being. And what I am here to tell you is you can be a generational pattern curse breaker, because those energies feel like curses to people when they are feeling like they're at the mercy of it, and they're, oh, this is just the way it is. This is just the way we are. We can't change it. This is just what I've inherited. Bullshit. I wouldn't be in this business if we couldn't change. And so the deal is understanding that you have the power to open up, to disseminate, to unpack, to become aware of what you've inherited, and then go about the business of changing how you think, how you feel. Well, you can't change how you feel, but you can change how you think will change how you feel. You can change your environment. You can change your patterns of behavior and relationships. You can change what you eat. You can change how you move, what you exercise. You can change just about everything. And you need to be willing, courageous enough to be that person that says, just because my mother, my father, my grandmother, my grandfather, my people did it this way, and it wasn't healthy, does not mean that we need to do it over and over in this experience, in this life. And furthermore, At the level of the nervous system, healing the nervous system requires choosing to turn off that limbic fight, flight, freeze way of living, wartime living, when you're in peacetime. Is deciding, I'm at peace, life is peaceful, I don't need to constantly be in survival mode, and go about the business of creating a life where you're not in survival mode, so you're more relaxed, and then you can enjoy life more. And when we enjoy life more, we have better relationships, we have better experiences, we can experience gratitude, we can drop the barriers, and we can drop all of that stuff. So yes, understand that a lot of the generational curse breakers came to a therapy session, came to the realization that their health made them so aware of the need to change. So great question. Pass this stuff along. People need it.